Welcome into Illini Drive. I am your host, Alec, Busse, joined by, once again, the Tuesday crew that we had earlier this week. Josh, second show, season vet now, right? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Carson, this is like routine for you now, right?
Like Sombrero, fourth time.
All right. And then, Gabby, you have a little special review for us tonight that I'm sure you're just ready to get after, right?
Dying to do this. Yeah, so on the Monday, Wednesday show, if you guys know Brendan Jones, he did a little Bachelor review yesterday. And me and Brendan watched the show together. And there was a special episode last night because I guess the drama in this week was too much for the producers to let us wait. So me and Brendan once again watched the show last night. We watched it live this time. Usually we have to catch up. But I'm not sure what he talked about, but me and him have pretty similar opinions. And sorry if these are spoilers, but Tammy and McKenna needed to go. Okay, these two girls, for everybody who doesn't know, Tammy has been picking fights for like the past however many episodes, like 2 episodes, okay, right? And then McKenna got super involved, and McKenna's just annoying. She like tells all the girls like they're insecure and stuff, but she cries whenever she doesn't get a chance to talk to Peter, who's the Bachelor, if you guys don't know. And so Peter, after making every boneheaded decision ever, he finally took both of them off the show last night, which is amazing because you don't have to see Tammy pick a fight. She made up this whole like rumor that this girl was an alcoholic and was like popping pills, which was like the pills she was taking were birth control and Adderall, which she both has prescriptions for. Okay, so she needs to go, and then McKenna, like I said, so annoying. So Peter finally made 2 good decisions. We're down to 6 girls. 6 girls. We have 6.
Hometown week yet?
No, hometown week, Alec, is 4 girls.
Okay, I'm sorry. You
4.
have to be psycho enough to go on the show in the first place.
4 girls hometown, and then they eliminate 1 girl. 3 girls fantasy suites. Ooh. Okay, that's a PG-13.
Any castles this year? Any castles this season?
I don't think so.
Because Peter got a castle, right?
A castle?
Yeah, on
What do you
Hannah
mean?
Brown season. It was a big deal. He got to
A windmill.
Oh, sorry.
He was in
Sorry.
a windmill. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm sure
It's a
maybe
big deal.
The windmill was probably connected to a castle. I don't know the details. But anyway, so then you have 3 girls fantasy suites, and then 1 girl goes, and then he has the final 2. But there's this guy, Reality Steve, who does spoilers, right? And so every season I read the spoilers. I just have to know. He always knows who wins before like the first episode even airs, right? He doesn't know who wins this season. He knows the final 2, so I know the final 2. I won't spoil. But he doesn't know who wins, and it's so secretive, and I'm like dying to know, because apparently it's not like a traditional ending where like he proposes to one, dumps the other.
Oh, is it going to go after the last episode? After the final rose?
Yeah. So
Are they going
like,
to do it on the after the final
what
rose? Women
my
Tell All?
guess is like last season with Hannah B, she had a final rose ceremony, and then her and the guy she was with broke up like quick after because he was like a cheater or something, and they found out. So they had like a 2-part finale. So whenever there's a 2-part finale, you know something's going down because it doesn't just end with the final rose. So that's the quick recap. That's where we're at. We have the final 6 right now.
Now I want to watch Gabby.
I like half of them. You should watch. Okay, and I know Alec's going to rip on it, and I will sit here and demolish this TV show forever because it's stupid. It sucks. It's horrible TV.
It's a cult.
But it's
it's great TV.
such
What are you
good
talking
entertainment.
about?
It is such good entertainment. You just have to sit there and be like, I'm so glad that my whole dating life is not being aired on national TV because, like, these girls and even Peter look so dumb. So dumb. So, like, they all cry over a guy they met 3 weeks ago. Which, like, when you think about it, girls do that in real life. So it's, like, kind of funny because you get to see it on national TV. I don't know.
I just feel like it's a very realistic way to like meet a husband or wife.
Yeah, but it's worked a couple times.
What's like the percentage that it's worked?
Probably like
Sub 50 or plus 50?
way sub 50.
Yeah, so like, why would you go on here?
Because it's fun. And then if you're someone that the audience likes, maybe you'll become the Bachelor, Bachelorette, like the opposite.
So you can fail twice and be heartbroken on 2 different seasons of television?
Then here's the real kicker. This is why I want to go. I want to be the girl that like everybody likes, but I don't win. I get to like top 4, okay? And then you go to Bachelor in Paradise. So that's a thing in the summer where it's like a bunch of guys and a bunch of girls, and you're just in like Mexico for like a couple
right?
months.
Cancun?
Yeah, Cancun or some it's like a resort, a private resort, and you're there for a couple months, just living it up, no responsibilities. You're getting paid. Like
you get paid?
Yeah, they get like contracts. Like
wow.
I think you get paid. That might be false, but I'm pretty sure you do.
I mean, if you're getting paid, I'll go.
If you're like big time.
That's just how desperate I am to get money, though.
And Gabby, in Paradise, the girls and the guys give roses on different weeks.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you watched Paradise?
Unfortunately.
Yes, Josh.
I have watched Paradise.
We're all gonna watch Paradise this year together. Okay.
Let's do it.
It's gonna be a radio.
We can do some reviews together.
Wait, is the last episode gonna be on a Monday or a Tuesday? Do you know? It's normally on Mondays, right?
Okay, so it's usually on a Monday, but my guess is it's gonna be another 2-part finale. So the last episode will be on a Tuesday.
So we could DVR it and go to your apartment
after, right? It starts at 7. Yes.
We might just have to.
So we're just gonna have to end the show like 5 minutes early and like race to my apartment and watch it.
Order a pizza, get some blankets.
Yes.
Comfortable.
Brendan will be there. We can invite the whole Monday Wednesday crew. It could be a thing.
Get Jake in there.
I guess he can come.
Jake
I'm
would
sure
have a blast with
he
that.
would. Yeah, I feel like Alex would hate that in so many ways, but
I could see Nathan having a lot of fun with it too.
Nathan would love it, and that's just it. Well, it's like Brendan told me his brother got him like hooked on it.
My mom and sister love it.
Like he came to me, he's like, "Do you watch The Bachelor?" I was like, "Do you?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "My brother made me watch it with him, and it's good." I was like, "Yes, finally, corrupt someone else." It's just like so bad that it's like entertainment. I don't know. And it's the producers are so good. Like this one girl went on a one-on-one date to her ex-boyfriend's concert.
So that was the one episode I watched.
She dated Chase Rice,
Chase Rice
a country
is one of my
singer.
favorite artists.
And they dated before the show, and neither Peter or Victoria knew they were going to a Chase Rice concert. The producers obviously knew. You don't just, like.
Imagine how awkward that would be.
It was awkward.
I mean, I watched that
I don't
episode.
like Victoria.
That was the one episode I watched.
You wait till all the tea comes out on Victoria. I know the tea because I read the spoilers. She's bad. We'll get to that. We'll get to that when it comes out.
All right. That's enough Bachelor talk. Back to the sports. So I guess there's some big basketball game tomorrow in Champaign, right? Illinois taking on the number 9 ranked Maryland Terrapins. It's the first time a Big Ten matchup here has been between 2 ranked teams in a long time. First time I can remember, at least. And this is a big deal. Orange Crush has sent out tweets and emails about getting outside of State Farm Center early. The university is, I think, a lot more lively. Scott Van Pelt's coming to visit. I'm not going to be here for it. Make sure you guys really enjoy it because it's probably going to be one of the biggest games of your 4 years here, potentially. And I'm excited. This is fun. This is cool. So let's preview it a little bit. Maryland comes in 18-4, tied for first place in the Big Ten with the Fighting Illini. The winner will come out at least one full game ahead of the pack in the Big Ten, which is big because then you control your own destiny at that point. And last time I checked, Maryland escaped from Illinois out in College Park. Anthony Cowan nails a 30-footer within the last 10, 15 seconds of the game and sends Illinois home. That game, to me, is like one that this Illinois team has kind of focused on and said, that can't happen again. And I feel like there's been a couple of games this season where that game they learned the importance of closing and keeping your foot on the gas until it's obvious that you've won. And this is a big deal. It's a lot of fun. I like this. Illinois basketball is back. Like, the fans are back at least.
You know why this is so big? And this is obvious. I'm not coming up with any huge revelation here. But it's so big for Illinois specifically is because they have another huge opponent in 4 days.
Tuesday, yeah.
On Tuesday. Michigan State. I can't do math. They have another huge opponent just a few days after this game, which is obviously going to be an intense physical game that's going to take a lot of toll on their body. So for me, that's a biggest thing about this game for Illinois, just on the Illinois side, not looking at Maryland and not looking at rankings and everything, but you have to split these home games, Michigan State, Maryland. You can't lose both.
I mean, 0-2, they lose so much momentum.
So much momentum.
Well, then you're on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, and you're going into Rutgers and Penn State, who are both
like,
ranked.
It could get ugly.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like you might drop out of the rankings at that point.
oh, for sure. Like, we would go back down to, like, 10.
So it's almost like you win tomorrow, you have a little safety net to not play your best Tuesday.
I personally think they're going to win back-to-back. I think at home, and then they're going to go rough on the road for a little bit. Like, we need these
They've
two
just
wins.
been so good at home lately.
I know.
It's like almost too good to be true.
Like, I feel like Maryland, like, sometimes they just get off to really slow starts on the road. Northwestern, they're getting smacked in the first half. They've won their last 2 road games, but before that, they did not win a game on the road. So this is the kind of game, like, let's get a good lead and just, like, keep having our foot on the gas.
I feel like this game, in a way, is kind of... Brad Underwood always talks about climbing the mountain, how you're never done climbing. This is a very big step. If they win this game, it's almost like, okay, now we're here. Now you just got to keep climbing, because they will have reached almost like a new peak. And then, like Gabby said, it's right there at Michigan State. It's right after that. And you can really control your own destiny if you win both of these games, because you have room to lose, I guess, because you'd have a full game lead. And Michigan State is scrambling right now. They've lost 2 in a row. Iowa lost by like nearly 40 last night.
That was insane.
Purdue looked unreal.
61 points in the first half.
Yeah,
Like, thank you for not playing like that when we came to town.
I mean, I've not seen a Big Ten team put up 104 points in a long time in a Big Ten game.
Little off topic, but Purdue has killed people at home this year. Well, we beat them by 17 in West Lafayette.
Austin, Texas are the only teams that have won there.
Yeah.
They beat Virginia by 29, Michigan State by 29.
It's one of the toughest places to play in the Big Ten.
For sure.
And we handled them. Now, in part because Harms isn't very good, so Kofi was able to get going, and we're going to see.
Iowa had a good game. That was the best team win of the season. There were so many good guys and just chipping in that game.
There's just a lot to unpack with this Maryland game. I mean, you come in and you probably are playing against one of the better players in the Big Ten, maybe the best scoring guard in the Big Ten with Anthony Cowan. I mean, obviously Cassius Winston's right there in that conversation, but Cowan comes in averaging 16.3 points a game. Jalen Smith averages 10 rebounds a game at the 5 spot for them, and Smith has been playing out of his mind in the last 5 to 7 games for Maryland, and Kofi is someone who played really well against him in the first half, but then got in second half foul trouble against Maryland in College Park. But Kofi's now struggled a little bit recently. I know he's played against really good big men. He had to go against Oturu, and I thought he actually played fairly well against Oturu. He had to play against Luka Garza, who's, in my opinion, the best big man in the country, maybe the best player in the country. He had John Teskey out in Michigan in a 3-game stretch. So he's got to respond here. And I know on the Tuesday show, I said this team kind of goes as Kofi goes. And they can overcome Io not playing great tomorrow. If Io doesn't score 15 points, I think they can still win. They won't win if Kofi doesn't play well tomorrow, because there's other pieces that can provide offense that can make up for Io not scoring 15 or 17 points. They can't do it if Kofi doesn't score at least 12.
Kofi just needs to be on the court, though, because, like, I don't want Jermaine Hamlin or, like, Georgie trying to cover Jalen Smith. Like, we just need him there for his defense.
Jalen Smith is averaging 21.5 points per game over his last 4 and 13 rebounds. Now, Luka Garza does that just about every game, and he just played him. But like I said Tuesday, Kofi loves to play at home. I expect a lot out of Kofi tomorrow. And I think on the defensive side, he's going to do a good job. But something that is going to be super important is to see how well Frazier handles Cowan, because he's averaging 20 over his last 4. Trent's made his case for all defensive first team Big Ten, so we'll see if they can handle them tomorrow.
I think just looking at some basic stats, like this team is super comparable. Field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. Illinois has a little better of a field goal percentage in general, but the one thing I really was looking at was free throw percentage, and we're 74% and they're 73.8, so super, super tight. Personally,
what's the free throw differential? Do you have it? Because Illinois is plus on that big time on the season because they've gotten to the line so much with getting the ball inside to Kofi.
That's
I can look at it.
But for me, the key is who's gonna. This can be a physical game. You have two big guys in the paint, whether they're fouling each other, the guards driving. This can be a physical game. So whoever can get to the line and make the free throws. And I know that's so obvious. You have to make free throws. But in a game like this, I really think it's going to come down to those couple extra points that might even be in the first half, might even be early in the second half where you think they don't matter. Just like, oh, I missed free throw 5 minutes into the game. That's fine. I feel like those are going to be the shots that really could start a momentum or end a momentum. You know what I'm like? I really think it's the little things that are so important in this game just because these teams are so comparable to each other.
Maryland never goes away. Every single one of these games, they can just pull something out of their hat,
But neither does Illinois.
No, not at all. But Maryland, Maryland since they got into the Big Ten have just won these crazy games. They'll made a 30-foot three. Indiana, they're down by 6, scored the final 7 points.
That's why it's so good because both teams have a chance to make that late game spurt, even if they're down double digits.
It's such a hard game to predict. Two good coaches. Maryland has gotten so much better. They haven't played great on the road, but they just, like Carson said, scored the final 7 points against Indiana. Illinois just finally lost a game, but we haven't, besides Purdue, I don't think we've looked dominant throughout our win streak.
It's because their offense doesn't light it up as much as other teams in the Big Ten do. Illinois is not scoring 104 points any night.
Exactly. Maybe against the Citadel, but not against
I meant a big
120 games.
Yeah, I meant against a Big Ten team, but I agree. I think almost an X factor tomorrow night is Alan Griffin.
Yeah, that's
because
my man.
I think Alan Griffin can do a lot to overcome, especially if he shoots the ball well. Maryland has really good shooters from the outside. It's not just Cowan. It's they've got Eric Ayala, who's a good three-point shooter. They've got Wiggins, who's a really good three-point shooter. And being able to overcome, you can't, to compare it to Iowa, they're going to make shots at some point because that's what good teams do. They just make shots. But if you can overcome that with a response at the other end, whether it's a 3 from Alan Griffin or a 3 from Trent or even the occasional 3 from Io. I know Allen came back against Iowa from his suspension. He had 6 points or 7 points, I think. But he was only 2 of 7 from 3. He needs to get that percentage up, I think, for Illinois to be able to overcome the shots that Maryland makes. And that's just one of the many X factors that I think go into this game.
Iowa went 4 for 12 last game against Maryland, too. He needs to probably step it up a little if they want the win.
Yeah, I'm definitely agreed, not concerned about Io on home court in pressure situations, but agreed, definitely needs to get going early. That's my thing, is get going early, not come alive in the last 5 minutes because it just might not, it'll be too little too late because Maryland's too good. You need to have consistency. And another thing is just players like Kipper and Allen tend to get a little sloppier with the ball, in my opinion. Coming off the bench, maybe you're, just not seeing as many court minutes, but I think taking care of the ball every possession. And then capitalizing off the turnovers. Both teams average about a little over 11 points off a turnover. So it's limiting that, but then also capitalizing. And, Kofi turns the ball over, what? He has 45 turnovers this season, and Smith has 39.
Kofi has stone hands.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's going to be the turnovers are going to be inside because it's going to be so physical and packed in there all the time. Like I said, it's the little things in this game because these teams are both so good in big moments.
I also think that it'll be really interesting to see how Illinois responds to the environment coming out of the locker room.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. And it was an insane. It was the first sellout against Minnesota of the season. It's the first sellout that a lot of these players have seen. I know Kofi said he's never played in front of a crowd that big, but it's going to be a totally different animal tomorrow night. It's going to be insanely loud. Orange Crush is going to be lined up outside of the building at I think you guys are saying like 4:30.
4:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, somewhere between that.
I need that jersey.
We need that jersey. First 1,000 fans.
Snag an extra one for me. Thanks.
That it's not just going to be Orange Crush, though. I mean, there's going to be fans just getting into the game early. It's going to be packed. Everyone's going to be in orange. Illinois can't get overwhelmed by that. To throw it back 15, 20 years ago, when Dee Brown and Darren Williams were here, they expected that. They knew that's what it was going to be, and other teams knew it too, but when you see orange and you're like, oh, God, that's a lot of orange, and it's loud, you don't expect to win. Maryland's used to tough environments. Illinois is not used to playing in front of an environment on their home court that's that big, that loud, that exciting.
I cannot wait to watch Alan Griffin tomorrow night. I think that
he's gonna go off.
He wasn't at the I'm not sure about that, but he wasn't at the sellout against Minnesota. Alan Griffin, guys, like I said on Tuesday's show, he brings the energy. He has a chip on his shoulder. I think that we could see big things from Alan Griffin tomorrow night. Regardless, he's gonna love the environment.
He's gonna stomp out the opposition.
Let's hope.
Let's not say that.
He also didn't play well against
Figuratively, he could stomp out the
So he's due,
competition.
Alex?
I agree, though. I think Alan's one of those guys who like thrives under pressure, but I think I said this Tuesday too. It's about controlling the emotions and not letting. Hopefully he's learned his lesson, but that is my only concern: is the crowd being so much and him getting so excited.
He gets lost in it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I don't see Illinois folding under the massive pressure of everyone being there. I think they saw that against Minnesota. I think it wasn't the greatest game, but they also handled it well. And I think they've seen it. They've gone on the road, seen those environments. I think as much as Maryland has experienced that, I think it's going to be tough for them because they've never played at State Farm Center when it's been crazy. Yeah. So I think this is just
team has.
Exactly. So I think this is just new territory for everyone, but Illinois kind of has the leg up because they know it's going to happen. Maybe Maryland will get too scared of the fire that they blast in the starting lineups. I don't know. Personally, I don't like it. It's so hot. It like hits my face.
You don't even stand right next to it.
I know, but like,
dude, I'm like squatting right there, like getting a shot of it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Do we have to do it this many times? I like sweat.
I think it's cool.
It's cool, but like if it didn't radiate heat onto me, I'd like it a little more.
All right, so we're going to come back from the break, give our picks for tomorrow night's big game in Champaign. This is Illini Drive. Welcome into Illini Drive. We're back from the break. Just a reminder, Illini Drive is brought to you by the University of Illinois Division of Intercollegiate Athletics, fightingillini.com. Unify, develop, inspire, achieve. So, I told you we were going to come back from the break and give our picks for tomorrow night's game. It's going to be a big one. Thinking it's going to be close. Fingers crossed it's going to be close because I like good games. Josh, pick, score, and why.
Always put me on the spot, Busse. Appreciate it.
Well, I just go left to right.
It's all right. I'll take it. All right. So we lost by 1 at their place on a 30-foot 3 by Cowan. That said, Maryland's playing a lot better. Like I said, Smith and Cowan are going through great stretches the last 5 to 7 games. I think the atmosphere tomorrow night's going to be crazy. I think Kofi has a bounce-back game and Trent guards Cowan. I'm going to go Illinois 73-65.
Carson?
All right, so I think Illinois is going to pull it out 64-60, mostly because we're at home. We're good at home this year. You know, Maryland, they're good on the road, but we're better. And I think Io's going to have a really good game. He's going to control the pace.
Do you know the line for this game?
The over-under is 145.
It's probably going to be like 2.5 or something like that.
I'm going to go 2.5 Maryland, probably.
No, I think we'll be favorites.
Illinois is going to
You
get...
guys both pick? No, we're not going to be favorites.
I don't think so.
I know.
I think
We were against
Maryland's
Michigan
gonna be-
when Michigan was 5.
You said Maryland's going to win?
No, they had the line. We had the percentage.
No, we
we had the
were -5 against Michigan at home. It's Illinois -2.
All right.
Okay. Oh no, I don't want to not pick Illinois, but I'm just scared.
Join the fight. Come on.
Join the fight.
That was good.
I think, you know what, I'm going to go Illinois. And I'm going to go last second shot from Io. I'm going to go 60.
Who's it over? Who's shot over? Like, who's he shooting it over? Please say Anthony Cowan. Please say
I think
Anthony
it might be
Cowan.
a free throw.
Oh, that's boring.
No, that's
Come on. Come
Gabby.
on.
It might be a 1-and-1. He misses. No, he makes the first. I don't know. Whatever. I'm getting on a tangent.
Tie
Whatever.
game, he
I don't
misses
know.
the first, and then he hits the second
then he-
one with 0 time left on the clock.
Crazy. Okay. So 64. No. You said 64. 66, 64.
Sounds good.
So I guess it's not a last second free throw.
So you're going to
but
go with the 2-point game?
I'm going to go with the 2-point game.
Okay, so you don't have Illinois covering, is what you're saying.
No.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
Great teams.
That's where I was going to go. Okay, this one's tough for me. Like I said, I think there's a lot of X factors. I think 3-point shooting is going to be a big deal. I know Illinois has been better in terms of that in the past couple of games, going back the last 8. I think they're shooting like 34% from 3. I also think it's going to be really important for them to figure out how to get the ball inside against the zone. And because Maryland's going to play a lot of zone. Underwood said that today at his press conference, that he expects a lot of zone from Maryland. I think that Illinois is going to have to hit shots, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I think a lot of this is going to fall on how many shots Trent Frazier hits, because this is a game, this would be a classic Trent Frazier game to just come out and just knock down 20 again. And I think Illinois is going to find a way to win. And I will take Illinois winning 68-64.
What if this is just like a crazy blowout and we're all wrong?
Maryland blows us out?
Either way.
I'll
Maryland
take
wins 104-68. What are you doing, Gabby?
Fire.
Crying? Not going to the press conference because I don't want to hear.
I have a question for you guys. Do you all
tears?
think that the winning team is going to score less than 70?
Yes.
Maryland has a good offense, guys.
Illinois puts up 74 points a game, but Illinois' defense is a lot.
Wait, Josh, what did you say the score?
I said 73-65. I think that if it's within 2 or 3 points, we are not going to win.
I think we could.
I think it's going to be a close game because of the defense that Illinois plays.
But I think that if we do win, we're going to have to go on a couple runs, which is why we're going to get above 70.
Okay, I respect that. But I'm going to keep mine.
Yeah.
Keep my score.
Basketball
score.
scores are also just a shoot.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Last
just
time was
shooting at nothing.
59-58 them at their
I'm pretty
place,
sure
so.
last time I predicted the score, it was like horribly wrong.
Yeah, basketball scores are really hard to predict because it has too much to do with how a team shoots the ball.
Wait, what did I predict the Super Bowl score to be?
Dude, you were 38-28. I remember that. You said Chiefs. You're a point away from the margin.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What do I win?
A high five.
Well, I'm sick, so I don't really want to high
don't
five
want the
anyone.
DB Doe.
I'll take away the current.
DP Doe. Carson's buying
What do you want?
DP Doe.
Roni Tony?
It's a Roni Zoni.
My bad.
Get it right, freshman.
Oh my gosh, great.
All right. So we've been talking a lot about how big of an environment this game is going to be tomorrow night. So I want to know, this is the biggest game at State Farm Center / Assembly Hall since when?
2013, Indiana.
Facts.
Illinois.
I disagree. Gabby?
I don't know. A while. Okay, I'm going to be honest. And I just told my dad to turn the show on, so he's going to yell at me for saying this. I have not, like, straight up kept up with Illinois basketball through, like...
Lon Kruger.
through, like...
Before we were born.
through, like, a 4... or, like, a 3-year period. And I swear I have, like, amnesia, so I don't remember, like, 2013. What game was that?
That was the Indiana game.
We had like a
That was a
losing
Tyler
streak.
Griffey layup against Indiana, #1 in the country.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of like a game that's been that intense and like fan intense since. I mean, yeah, I guess I would go Indiana.
Okay. I disagree, and I'm going to go all the way back to 2010.
Whoa.
And nearly 10 years ago to the day, Illinois hosted #5 Michigan State at then Assembly Hall, and College Game Day was here. And Illinois won that game 78-63. and everyone thought that they could then go on a huge run deep into the NCAA tournament, and then they fell flat on their face. And they then beat Wisconsin in Madison, and then they lost at Ohio State, at Purdue, beat Michigan, and then lost to Minnesota, Ohio State, and Wisconsin in the regular season. I'm going to go all the way back to 2010 and say Michigan State, because I think going into it, that had as much excitement around it as this one does, and I don't think that there was as much excitement around the Indiana game, even though Indiana was number 1 in the country. That was the last time Illinois made the tournament. But that Illinois team at that point wasn't really playing very well, and that was a game that they kind of needed, and whatever. But going into the game, I'm going to say Michigan State 2010. Game day was here.
There was a court storm. I'm watching it right now.
The Michigan State game?
Yeah.
I was a Michigan State fan back then.
Look, watch it.
I remember that game.
Watch the court storm.
So as we watch, I'm going to agree with Carson. And here's why. We started the year hot. What did we get up to? Number 8 in the country or something like that. We lost at Northwestern. Or no, I'm sorry. At home against Northwestern. It says Assembly Hall. Okay. Then we had lost 3 straight coming off a loss to Wisconsin. So we beat Indiana. And then our very next game is at Minnesota, who we lost to in a blowout at home a month or 2 before. And we beat them by 4. And that turned us around. We win some more big games, and boom, that's what bounces us back, and we get in the tournament.
Did that buy John Grosh a couple extra years, though?
No.
In hindsight? I don't think so.
No, because it was his
One
first
extra
year.
season, yeah.
That was his first year, so it didn't really matter. That was a horrible hire.
But remember we beat Colorado, then we lost to Miami, but that was a good game.
That was
Lost by 4.
That was the 2-minute rule. You know how ball goes out of
I wasn't
bounds?
watching.
Oh, wow. Okay,
I
ball
was at the Mall of America.
That was the biggest ripoff.
So, you know how if the ball goes out of bounds in the last 2 minutes of a game, you can review it?
Yep.
That game...
The Illinois rule. I know
Yeah,
what
the
you're
Illinois
talking
rule.
about.
Yeah, there's 2 Illinois rules, actually, in the rule book. Okay, so we're going to go to break. I know that was a shorter segment. We're going to come back, make our picks for college basketball's biggest games this weekend, and then Gabby wants to hit on some Steelers stuff, Antonio Brown stuff, so we're going to let her do that.
It's not even just Steelers. Don't lead with Steelers. It's Antonio Brown. You make me sound biased.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, I had one more question. If Illinois wins tomorrow, is there a court storm?
No.
I don't think
No.
so.
No.
But
Brad won't let
okay.
it happen.
We're ranked, you know.
We're not. There's
Or
going to be
not-
no
know,
court
but-
storm this year.
I
or
know,
next year
and
or
I
the
know
year
we're
after that.
pretty much picked to win, but I feel like the anticipation of this game, it's been
won't
so
happen.
many days.
If we're down 2 and Io hits a 25-foot 3 at the buzzer, sure. Let's storm the court,
No.
Gabby. But that's
Because
it.
Michigan wasn't. And that
Yeah.
was huge.
I guess. I thought it was going to be.
But
I
Maryland's
was
a more
like-
complete team.
At the end of the Michigan game, Underwood turned around and yelled at Orange Crush, "Don't rush the floor." And the players are doing the same thing. So I don't see...
Why? Let
Because
us
you
have
went to
fun,
media day.
Brad.
But
you
then
went to
again,
media
guys-
day. What did they say? They said, Io said, we expect
We
to win these
expect
games."
to win. Well, have a little fun.
Brad could pull a 180.
That was a lot of fun.
I mean,
Rushing the floor last year. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was sick that day, so I didn't go.
I got to
Ask
rush
me if
the
I'm
field
upset.
for Wisconsin, too.
I
That was
did
a
do
lot of
that
fun.
too. I saw you.
I didn't
we
get to
did.
it either.
Said, hey.
Wisconsin was insane.
That
The
was
basketball was
was.
more fun. For someone who's done both, basketball is more fun.
Wow, you're so cool. You see both court storms. Thanks, Alec, for
Well,
rubbing
one
it
was
in
a
my
field.
face.
All right.
I'm done. Okay, we're going to break. Goodbye.
All right, we are back from break. So last semester, I should say, me, Gabby, and Eric found a lot of fun on the Thursday show picking the NFL games. Well, there's no more NFL. So we're going to start mixing in the XFL once we kind of know who's good and who's not good, because I want to do that.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to start watching the XFL, maybe, if it's watchable. Go Battlehawks. So we're going to do college basketball picks for Friday and Saturday's biggest games. Top 25 games, I should say. So Friday night, the only top 25 teams playing are Illinois and Maryland. We already gave you our picks for that. So we're going to go through some of the bigger games on Saturday. First one, Kansas travels to TCU. Kansas.
Kansas.
Bill Self all the way.
Gabby?
Kansas.
Good. Florida State's going to beat Miami. They're at home. LSU and Auburn.
Ooh.
It's at Auburn.
Too tough on the Plains, they'll win it.
I'll go Auburn. No. Yeah, I'll go Auburn by 3.
Ooh.
I'm also going to go Auburn, but I think it'll be close.
I'll go Auburn as well because I think that they're at home and they beat Kentucky last week. Okay, Michigan State travels to Michigan. I think Michigan State's got to just be desperate for a win at this point, but I don't think Michigan's good. I'm going to go Michigan State.
I was also going to say Michigan State, but now I kind of want to switch it because I expected you to say Michigan, but I'll stick with Michigan State. I'll semi-close, 9.
Michigan State's beaten Michigan last 4 times. Michigan's struggling. I'm going to go with Michigan State.
I'm also going to go Michigan State. I feel like
Sparty.
the beginning of the season, Michigan was so insane, and they've just completely dropped off.
Did you guys see the report today about why Xavier Simpson was suspended?
Nope.
No. But
So
I know he is.
he's not anymore. So he was suspended for a game. I think it was a game at Nebraska. I could be wrong. And there were reports going around that it was for a traffic incident, whatever. And then he got suspended for a game. And then it came out today that he was involved in a traffic accident where he hit a pole. Police came. He was like, "No, I wasn't the one driving the car." Then eventually he told them that he was the one driving the car, and he got suspended for a game for running into a pole. It was after the Illinois game in Ann Arbor. He didn't get breathalyzed, or there weren't reports that he was breathalyzed or driving under the influence of anything, though. So he hit a pole and got suspended
I
for a
think the
game.
reason he got suspended is because he lied.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, too. He got suspended because he got into a car accident?
No, I mean, are you saying he shouldn't have gotten suspended?
I mean, I'm not the one that's going to make the team rules, but, I just
think it's because he probably lied, and I'm sure Howard doesn't tolerate lying.
I don't think Howard's a very
He got a
Oh,
ticket for
wait.
driving too fast.
He can recruit, though. He's going to get some dudes.
Yeah, they have a top 5 recruiting class.
It was the Michigan athletic director's family car.
Oh.
That I didn't read.
Maybe that's...
All right, well, that's big.
That might be where the
I
suspension
was gonna say, I think
comes.
Juwan Howard's a good guy, which is why he was like, all right, we're gonna discipline you. But now that we know whose car it is, yeah.
Michigan is-
Oh, he lied to... Okay, this is coming from...
Is this newer information?
Michigan Live. Okay. This says that the report also shows the University of Michigan basketball star lied to officers about his name and whether he was driving when the vehicle crashed.
And he didn't get breathalyzed.
No.
Ugh.
It was 3:03 a.m. That's
Nice.
not a good sign either.
Hey, at least our basketball players walk to the bars. Just going to say it.
True. Yeah, so those details do make a difference. So that obviously, I would say calls for a suspension.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Anyways,
Back to the SEC on Saturday. Kentucky travels to Tennessee. Remember, Tennessee was really good last year under Rick Barnes. I think Kentucky is going to be too much, and they're going to be A-okay on the road.
Yeah, I really like Kentucky. Even when they were losing earlier in the year, I thought highly of them. Kentucky by 15.
15?
That's a lot.
that is a
I
lot.
don't think
I don't think
Tennessee's
it's gonna be
that
close.
bad. I don't know. Tennessee played Florida State pretty close, and Memphis when they had Wiseman, and I think Wiseman was there. Anything can happen. I could see Tennessee pulling off a stunner, but I'll go with Kentucky, but I really don't know.
I would say Kentucky.
I like Tyrese Maxey a lot. He's one of my favorite players to watch right now. We'll fast forward a little bit. Go to the Big East, probably the second best conference in the country. Number 12, Seton Hall, travels to Villanova to take on Jay Wright. Who you got, Josh?
That's going to be a great game. What's his name for Seton Hall? Their
Powell.
best player, Powell.
Powell, yeah.
I really, really like him. I'm going to say Seton Hall pulls it off in overtime by 4.
Pretty bold. Villanova's lost a couple games, I think, lately, but I think Villanova's too. Is that the Pavilion or how do you?
It's at Wells Fargo Arena.
Was that okay? 76.
Whatever that is. Yeah, Villanova's lost to us, too. They lost at home against Creighton, and then
Yeah,
they traveled to
Creighton
Butler
blasted.
and lost.
I'm gonna say Villanova bounces back.
I would agree. I think Villanova.
I agree. The Big East is really good, too. So if you ever get a chance to watch the Big East, watch it.
We'll talk about that one on Tuesday.
Yes.
Virginia takes on Louisville. At Louisville. Louisville's going to win, and Virginia's not going to make the tournament.
Yeah, well said.
Louisville 55, Virginia 27.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Stop. Yeah, Louisville. You know what I'm looking at? I'm probably looking at the same thing you're looking at. And Louisville plays at the KFC Yum Center.
It's a cool arena.
I don't like it when college
I love
stadiums
that
have
name.
sponsors, though. I like it
State Farm.
I don't like it. Like, I like Assembly Hall better. I don't know, with college, I don't like it when they have
too.
sponsors.
All right, we're going to go to the Big Ten. The Golden Gophers, 6-6 in the Big Ten, travel to take on Penn State, 7-4 in the Big Ten, ranked number 22 in the country. I know Lamar Stevens hasn't met expectations this season. He's probably not going to be a first-team All-Big Ten guy. I still think he's a really good player, and I don't think that Minnesota has someone who matches up against him very well. And I think Watkins is good enough to slow down Oturu just a bit. Penn State wins.
Yeah, Penn State for sure. I'm scared of Stevens.
Penn State's on fire. I'm going to have to go with Penn State, but Minnesota's tricky sometimes. I don't know.
I'm going to take the opposite and go Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you.
I just have to be different. Sorry. I feel like Oturu is going to go off. I mean, he does a lot, but
This is his game, too. I mean, Penn State doesn't have a great big guy. So.
I mean, Watkins isn't bad.
He's not bad, but he's
not
I feel
in
like
the
he
top.
could.
yeah.
He's going to struggle
in the
with
top five?
Oturu.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Good.
so. I think so.
He's number 5. Yeah.
Duke travels North Carolina. I got to do this one just because it's Duke UNC. Duke by 20.
That's a hot take.
UNC's horrible.
I know, but
They're 10-12.
I mean, you know this series. I'm going to go Duke, but I think 20 is a stretch. It could happen. I'm going to go semi-close. Duke maybe by 7 or 8.
Like,
Cole Anthony's back.
I don't care. There's so many teams that built, like, Michigan. Oh, we beat North Carolina. We're so good this year in North Carolina. It was just a dud. Duke
Well, Michigan beat them really early in the year in Atlantis.
and Ohio State beat them by, like, 25 at Chapel.
Yeah, that was the ACC.
I would
Big
say
Ten Challenge.
Duke, but I'm not going to go 20. I'd go like 10.
Back to the Big Ten. Iowa is at home against Nebraska. They got to just be licking their wounds, man. Both of those teams. Iowa's just got crushed. Nebraska's just 7-15. I trust Fred Hoiberg to turn that program around,
Totally
especially if he stays there, especially after what he did at Iowa State. He was a very good coach there, made that a good program. Iowa's going to get right at home at Carver Hawkeye. They're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Iowa fans are going to... I don't know if they're going to pack the place again. I mean, I don't know the
It's
environment.
Iowa. There's nothing else to do there.
All right, so but
They
like
boo
I
like
think
crazy.
yeah, I was gonna say I think their fans are gonna be angry, but then they'll go up like 15-4, and their fans will go crazy, and Iowa will win easily.
Yeah, they're going to win. Too much offensive firepower.
Iowa.
Luka Garza is really good.
Yep.
Hot take.
So hot.
That's all of them.
Yeah.
There's not really any other really good ones. Gabby, you can do your little AB hit.
My little spiel. Okay, so I'm trying to find. Okay, so Antonio Brown
AB.
today, obviously.
Tony Two-Tut.
What a head case.
Yeah,
Wait, no, it's
so
Tony
he's
Toe
been
Taps.
struggling. Obviously, we all know what happened in his football world, but there's been some domestic cases about him or with him, involving him. There's been some things surrounding his kids. All these things have come out that have nothing to do with football. I know he went under like a mental screening or not screening, but what's the word I'm thinking of? Just like a mental whatever. So he went on 93.7 The Fan, which is a Pittsburgh radio station today. And he called in and
He called in.
Like,
as
well,
in-
like they set it up and he
I was just
called on the
saying,
show.
He called in like,
he's like,
hey, it's Antonio Brown. I want to
Brown."
talk. I thought that's what you meant when you said he called in. I was like, whoa. I could not imagine being the producer and being like, oh, God.
Is it?
Send him over.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. No, but he went out and apologized to the Steelers for his distractions, apologized to Ben, Mike Tomlin, saying that these guys gave me an opportunity. I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful for the city. And this just, as a Steelers fan, obviously we all know, as a Steelers fan, this irritates me so much. Because it's like, we're finally done with you. We're moved on from you. You caused years of turmoil in the organization, in the locker room. Who even knows what was really going on? Everybody should send a huge apology letter to Mike Tomlin for saying that Mike Tomlin mishandled Antonio Brown. No, this man has issues. And now to say all these horrible things, he's talked about how he never had a good relationship with Ben. On the radio show, he said that he's never hated Ben. He will always love Ben. And that things just happen, egos got in the way. And he uses plural terms where it's like, no, I think his ego got in the way and his own things got in the way. So it's just frustrating to me to try and see him like come back. And he's like, I hope one day I could have a chance again with the organization. Like, you stood here and like completely insulted the whole organization for months and months and months, went to the Raiders, went to the Patriots, whatever, did his whatever. And the thing is, he's still ripping on Juju. And I don't know how much you guys...
Can I rip on Juju too? Because he was an awful fantasy player this year.
Well, okay, that's not the point. But the whole thing that started between him and Juju was that 2 years ago, Juju won the team MVP over Antonio Brown, who probably had won it like the previous years because he was so good offensively. And then that's when things like went to shambles after he lost the team MVP. Like, really? We're going to get upset over that at a grown man age? And so he's still ripping on Juju, even though he was saying that Juju still wants to be like him and Juju's just trying to be Antonio Brown and he never will, all this stuff. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but I don't think Juju wants to be him. I don't think Juju wants to have happen to him what happened to Antonio Brown. So I don't know. This might not seem like important to anybody else or even you guys, but to me, it's just frustrating as a fan and as just an NFL fan. It's like he's ripped through several organizations now and just like ripped through, I mean, not as much the Patriots, but kind of caused some turmoil in the Raiders when they thought they were getting this guy all in for him. So it's just kind of frustrating and also sad to see how he has flipped his script so much over the past couple of years. I don't know if you guys have seen it or have any comments on it, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Just in general, just sad. Like these multi-millionaires have everything going for them, and then they just let their egos get in the way and just destroy so much. You know what I mean? It's just like it's unfortunate to see.
Agreed.
It's really weird because for like when he was like the number one fantasy draft pick, I know that we heard a little bit, but like nothing was really coming out about him being such a nut. And then all of a sudden it all happens at once. He leaves the Steelers. Raiders can't handle him. I really don't know what happened with the Patriots. And now he was seen like yelling at cops or something like that in a video. And that's when I was just like, this dude's hit rock bottom. Like, he is done. But now right away he's coming back. He goes on a show, like you said, and apologizes to everyone. But yet he's still ripping on Juju. Like, it makes you wonder if he had anything going on with any of the other players to begin with, and it was just a cover-up, like, oh, I hate the whole team, when really, now I think we know it's all about Juju.
Yeah, like, what's genuine and what's not.
But I feel bad for the guy. He clearly has problems. I hope another NFL team doesn't pick him up. I hope that he goes and cleans himself up. Good riddance.
I just think that he's not in the best mental space right now, and I think a lot of that comes from, it's not just, he was sentenced to having to go get mental health treatment. He is like under house arrest. He's all of these other things. Like, I just don't think he's in the best spot as an individual right now. And I think that everything he says needs to be taken with a very small grain of salt, because he's flipped his switch so many different times, saying one thing and then it goes against what he was saying and it's the opposite. And it's really hard, I think, to take what he says and believe what he says, because everything's changed so many different times. And he's also done a lot of things that are not okay. Like, whether it was the sexual assault stuff, whether it was the things with his teammates, or the things he's said in the past about certain individuals or people within power, you can't do those things. And it's now come back to bite him, and he's going to face consequences. And I think it's obvious he's not going to play in the NFL again. Like, no team, I think, is going to take a chance on him at this point.
Well, I think it just also comes back down to ego. He thought he could get away with everything. He thought no matter what he did, who he hurt in the process, it's fine because he's this great receiver, which he is and probably was by now. But it just goes to show that, like, you can really differentiate those athletes that build these huge egos, because I think it was Carson, you said that he didn't come in when he was drafted, not in the first or second round, he didn't come in with this huge ego. It was built over time, and I think that's the scariest thing to see, is just to see how he's changed throughout those moments.
He went to Central Michigan, right?
Yeah, he did.
Man, I just can't see a guy like him going there. But maybe that's
Well, it's 'cause he
wasn't
was
highly
God.
recruited because of a lot of the things that happened when he was in high school. I mean, he had a really rough childhood with his stepdad and his mom and the relationship with his brother. If you ever get a chance, there's a really good story on The Athletic about that. And if you have a subscription to The Athletic, just search Antonio Brown, and I think you can probably find it. But a lot of it, I think, goes back to what he grew up with. And that's not always an excuse, but eventually you have to be responsible for your own actions. And I don't know if he has realized that he needs to be responsible for those actions.
no, I don't think he's willing to take responsibility.
I have so much respect for Mike Tomlin. I mean, I think that he's a top 3 coach in the game. I've talked about this with Carson. I think we've agreed on that.
A
right
top
Oh, yeah.
3
I didn't- he
coach?
said he
I
was
don't
the
even
top,
know.
top.
Okay, Gabby, 4th string quarterback, missing so many people. What did that team do this year? Were they like on the verge of a playoff spot?
Yeah, they lost it the
Le'Veon
last
Bell,
week.
head case, Roethlisberger, not the best guy in the world. Brown, terrible. Juju's good, but he's dealt with these. He's won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's kept them in contention every single year when they're on their 4th string quarterback. If I'm taking any coach in the league minus Bill Belichick, I'm going Mike Tomlin.
I feel like he could have won one more Super Bowl. I don't know, just one.
Aaron
All
Rodgers
that.
got in the way.
He
And then
did. I hate the Packers forever for that.
Well, they got out to like a 21-3 lead. I remember that.
That
And the
always happens
Steelers
in the
almost
Super
came
Bowl.
back.
Then the Ravens were up 28-6 against the
Yeah.
49ers, and they came back in 28-3, Falcons Patriots. I mean,
That one's
that's a
worse.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, thank you for appreciating Mike Tomlin because no one,
love
Alec,
him.
ever
He's my favorite coach.
appreciates
I like
my
Mike
Steelers.
Tomlin.
You never appreciate the Steelers out loud.
I like Mike Tomlin. He's one of my favorite coaches in the NFL.
Well, I'm just shouting out Josh right now for appreciating my team.
Aw.
What the heck?
I'll shout you out next week.
Yeah, we can talk about him when we're watching Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes, watching Bachelor in Paradise.
All right, that's all the time we have for this episode of Illini Drive. I'm mad at Gabby now. Anyway, Monday's show is going to hit on the Maryland game, I'm sure, and they'll be able to preview the Michigan State game. Ooh, we're going to have to figure out our Tuesday schedule.
Tuesday, the game's not till 8.
Lovely.
Yes.
All right, good to hear. That is all the time we have for tonight on Illini Drive, and enjoy your weekend.